All right, we are back with the market statistics from April of 2023. We do this segment every single month so we can track the market in Tulare County and keep you informed so that you guys can stay ahead of the curve. What we're going to dive into today is a little bit surprising. It's very optimistic, but there are still some concerns. This is an important video for you guys to watch if you're in the real estate market, if you own a property, or if you're thinking of buying and selling within the next few years. Check into this one. It's going to be worth the watch. To start things off, we're going to look at average sale price as we always do. A huge spike in April. We were already rebounding from February to March. We saw a little bit of rebound last month, and we saw a huge spike this month, almost back up to all-time highs. This is what I would call a little bit unexpected. You know, I expected us to keep trending up as we roll into spring and summer, which is typically a hotter market. I did not expect to see that significant of a jump, but it is very fantastic to see. It's still a negative 3.7% year over year. But again, you're comparing to the absolute peak of 2022. So home values are doing really well right now. And if we see them continue to increase, we're going to have new all-time highs here really, really soon. But the question is, why are home values spiking up so fast, even though mortgage rates haven't really changed? Like, what's driving this increase in average sale price? But before we talk about that, we're going to look at the last 3 years. 3 years ago, $264,874 was the average sale price. And it just blew up during the pandemic. We jumped all the way to 331, then to 407, and now we're down at 392,635. But if you compare that to 3 years ago or even 2 years ago, you're in fantastic shape right now. Again, it's great to see things spiking like this, but the question is why. So looking at price per square foot real quick, jumped back up to $216 per square foot. I think the all-time high here was around $223, but we're looking good in price per square foot as well. So taking a look at new listings, we saw a little rebound in April. After pulling back again in March, which was a huge concern, we did see a small rebound in April of new listings. And this is huge, but man, we need so many more. Like this high for 2023 would have been a low, the all-time low, in any of the last 3 years. So you're asking what's driving the average sale price up, and my answer is going to be low inventory. If you look at the last 3 years, we typically saw, more inventory than we're seeing now. In 2020, that was right when the pandemic hit. There was a lot of concern during this time. This is right when people were like, we're going to do lockdowns and everything is highly contagious, red alert. And so, everybody kind of locked up for a few months. That would explain this dip. But if you look at the average for April, 423, 410, we're typically seeing a lot more than we've got going on right now. Hopefully that changes. Hopefully we see more sellers come into the market over the next couple months, because we certainly need the help. This is the number of homes for sale on the market. Again, all-time low at 358 in Tulare County. There have been times we've had 358 homes available in Visalia. And to have that, have it be that low through the entire county is concerning. But again, it's what's keeping those home values up for sellers. Pending sales continuing to rebound. Again, buyers are getting back into the market in 2023. I think buyers are kind of adjusting to these rate increases. They've kind of accepted things are what they are. You've still got a lot of renters that want to get in the market if they can. So buyer activity's there. We just haven't had the sellers to support them so far. It's still a little bit low if you compare to the last 3 years, but again, with low inventory, there's not a lot to choose from. So naturally, your sales are going to go down. Closed sales, they've kind of been wavering a little bit, and a lot of this comes back to the available inventory. A lot of it comes back to the buyer activity, but we saw it drop off going into 2023 and kind of level off early on, which is typical of the holidays. Typically, people aren't shopping for a home during Thanksgiving and Christmas, so you usually don't see a lot of closings in January, even February. We did see a nice rebound in March, but we dropped back down in April. And this is a question that I don't think we've got the answer to yet, as far as why those closed sales would drop off when we saw pending sales have continued to increase. Maybe something happened here. I think a big part of this is going to be that Dreamers Act. So there was a program going on for a while where they were able to give you an extra loan to help you with your down payment. So people could get in with essentially zero down, and that program only lasts for 2 weeks. So my guess is you got a whole bunch of people into escrow under that program, and then they ran out of funds, and so a lot of these people dropped out. Looking at the last 4 years though, closings are incredibly low. Back in 2020, we were at 292. During 2021, 2022, like the more key, really hot years as far as the real estate market went, we were up around 350, and now we're down to almost half of that. So sellers, we need you in the game. We need some help. The days on market, we are looking at 20 right now. It was super low throughout the pandemic. Obviously, everything that hit the market would sell almost right away because buyer activity was at the highest that I've ever seen it for sure. We saw a major slowdown toward the end of 2022, and that spiked up to almost 30 days or a little over 30 days, it looks like. Now we're back down to 20, and what I'm going to tell you too is that's very price dependent. We're seeing a lot of new listings come on right now, and they're selling right away. They're getting multiple offers, and some of them are even getting over asking price. So again, it's based on demand, supply and demand, and we don't have the supply, and demand is coming back. Looking once again at months of inventory, we're down to 1.4. You've just seen an absolutely free fall from a little over 2.5 months of inventory in late 2022. It's just been free falling, and until we get sellers in the market and we get those new listings up, it's going to continue to free fall because buyer activity is only going to pick up throughout the spring and summer. So in summary, average home prices declined steadily to start 2023, but as expected, rebounded significantly in March and jumped huge in April. Price per square foot rebounded to $216 per square foot over the last 2 months, up from $206 per square foot just a few months ago. This is an excellent sign that the real estate market has turned a corner. I don't think we're going to see things fall back down again now. Rates aren't expected to spike again. We're expecting rates to start trending back down. So I expect home values to continue up from here. New listings rebounded in January and continued into February, but fell off again in March. We saw a small increase in April, but it's not nearly what we need for a healthy market. I've been harping on it all video. I've been harping on it for the last 3 videos, but we need listings in the market. Again, buyer activity is only going to pick up, and unless we get some inventory in there, the home prices are just going to go nuts. Pending sales are still increasing slowly, which is suggesting that home buyers have adjusted to increased mortgage rates. I would actually say pending sales are increasing fairly well over the last few months, and buyers have definitely adapted. They're getting back in the game. Homes for sale are still declining all the way down to 1.4 months of inventory, which is the biggest concern in the real estate market right now, at least from my perspective. And that's why I'm trying to push you guys so hard. If you're planning to sell within the next couple years, this might be the time to do it because you've got peak prices and you've got low inventory, high demand, you're going to sell it quick. In summary, a year ago, buyers were paying tens of thousands above asking price, paying for their own closing costs and repairs, and paying thousands more to cover a short appraisal, all just to have a chance at buying the home they want. Now today, we're starting to see multiple offer situations coming back, but buyers can still negotiate a better price. They can still get seller assistance with closing costs, at least in some cases, and they can stop writing those nasty appraisal gaps that we had to write during the COVID time, where you're basically guaranteeing $5,000, $10,000 over the appraised amount just to be competitive, just to have a chance at the home that you want. And sellers, this is where we are right now. We're seeing home values increase again as we enter Q2 of 2023, and we expect this to continue because spring and summer are typically the hottest markets. Guys, we're going to see all-time highs again here within the next month or two, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the time to jump in there. Buyers are back in. We're ready to go. This is going to be a hot market. Tulare County is highly desired and is a special market, giving us some protection. I've mentioned this in other videos, but when you've got unaffordability or inaffordability in the Bay Area or in LA or in San Diego, and people are losing jobs there, they're not able to keep their houses there, they're not able to buy homes there because they're so expensive, a lot of times they're driven here to Tulare County, which is right in the center of California. It's an easy commute to a lot of these places, and we just have a ton of inpouring from these other areas here in Tulare County. So even if the market got crazy, which it kind of did, and now it seems to be turning right back around and looking sweet again, we have some protection and some insulation from all that. If you purchased your home at least a year or two ago, you still have strong equity in your home. This reduces the risk of a major wave of foreclosures coming and causing a crash in home prices. There's always a group of people, and there has been my entire career, who are just waiting and begging for the home crash. They're like, it's coming. There's going to be a crash in housing. It's coming for sure. You've got to look at the statistics. You've got to look at the statistics behind that, because 2008 had some really unique situations that we just don't have now, and I don't see that happening. That said, the Fed is committed to stamping out inflation, even with rate hikes at nearly every meeting. The positive impact to inflation has so far been minimal. I don't know if inflation has been impacted positively still. This is kind of a repeat from the last few months. I don't know if inflation's improved too much, but what I can tell you is that they're not planning to continue increasing home mortgage rates. So, hopefully within the next couple months, couple quarters, we see those start to dwindle back down and homes become even more affordable to the buyer. But yeah, the Fed has been a big concern, and a lot of people are still worried. A lot of people are still talking about how the actual recession may be coming in Q3 of 2023. But recession isn't necessarily bad for housing. You know what I mean? Housing, everybody's got to have a house. You've got to have some place to live. So I think the turn in home values right now, again, a lot of it's based on an inventory issue. But unless we see home sellers just absolutely flood into the market, I think home values are going to continue to rise. So low inventory is keeping home values propped up and even increasing as we're seeing multiple offers again. So if you're thinking of selling in the next year or two, guys, this may be your best opportunity to do so. And I know agents say that kind of thing a lot, but as we're going into the hot market right now, the buyer activity is there, the inventory is not. So you put your home on the market and you price it properly, and you're going to come out of it looking really, really good. You're going to sell quickly, and you're probably going to get over asking price if you play your cards right. If you have any questions about this, any comments, please share it with me. I'd love to hear it. We'll be back next month with the next one, and we'll have lots of videos in between, so stay tuned. Thank you again for watching. Take care.